How do I change my life? This is a question many people come up with. They are actually not comfortable where they are, so they are actually desiring change. One thing in life is you can desire change, but if you don't have the right knowledge to make sure that changes actually happen, it will not happen. So we need to desire change, which is the basics, the fundamental of trying to live a better life, which is the basic ability that God wired in the life of every man upon the face of the earth, because every man actually wants a change. That is actually what makes us to wake up in the morning and go to our businesses and hustle and come back. But when the right set of knowledge is not actually applied towards these changes, we discover that our lives will remain the same. It's not just that we're not desiring change, but the right knowledge that will make this change happen in our lives are not actually there. So for one to actually desire a change in his life, in any area of life, in any area where he finds himself, that one must of necessity know that change is one thing that is constant. So we all change as things changes, and things around us are going to continue to change. Do you remember those days, or I remember those days, that we used to go out and rent DVD players so that we can watch movies? I remember those days that we used to buy recharge cards on the road, in the streets, in the market, everywhere, and it was a running business all around. I remember those days that when we go out to buy those things, to buy cassettes, to buy video players, people that were in that kind of businesses those days, they were the reigning guys in town. They were doing well. They were doing all kinds of establishments in one industry. They were doing all kinds of establishments. They were investing their money. They were actually doing well financially. But as time goes on, that kind of a business is no longer a business that can reign in this 2025, because I can't even remember the last time I bought recharge card in my phone. I recharged direct from my bank. I can't remember the last time I saw DVD player. I watch YouTube direct on my television. I can't remember. One day, a man came to my shop and he was marketing his cassettes, that he sang a music, and it was DVD player. I said, well, I don't have something like this at home again, because these things are things that are outdated. So this tells us that change is something that is constant. It's not always there. Things must change as time goes by. So when a man desires change, the man must first of all be willing to change his approach towards things, to change his approach on how he handles matters. Because I tell people, you cannot do something the same way and you expect a different result. No, it will not work that way. So long as you keep doing it that same way, you are going to have the same result. So when you need a change, that means you are ready for a different approach. You are ready to do the things differently. Things that were doing before, you are now ready to do it in a different way. And until you do it in a different way, you are not going to actually have a different result. And when you do it in a different way, that is where the changes will actually come by. So I remember those days I was working every day, every month. When they pay me my salary, I will eat it up before the end of the month, and my life was running in circles, and I was every day praying, fasting. I was desiring for a change in my finance, but those changes never came until one day I sat back. I became uncomfortable with my situation. I said, will my life continue like this? No, my life is not supposed to continue like this, because by the time I get old, there must be a legacy. I'm going to live for my children. I'm going to live for the people that are coming after me. I said, okay, it's now time to start a business. And that was when my approach towards my salary changed. I began to save a portion of my salary for business establishment. And I did this savings for about 2 years. And after 2 years, I started my business. And when I started my business, in a space of 5 years, the business actually made me a millionaire, made me who salary cannot make me in 6 years. So when you desire a change, you have to desire that you need a different approach to handle things. Until you begin to handle things from a different approach, from a different perspective, now you are not going to get things changed. Secondly, when people desire change in their lives, they are not actually willing to pay the price that will lead them to the change. You remember that you need to change from the normal approach, from the things you are doing, to the new things you want to do. So many people are fond of their old habits, so they are not willing to break their old habits for new habits to come up. And I will tell people that your habit is all about your future. Your habit is what determines the kind of life you are going to live. Your habits are products of the things that are going to happen to you in future. So when you want to check how far a man will go in life, just check his habits. If his habits does not synchronize with his utterances, where he wants to go to, forget him. He's a joker. He's a man that is not actually serious. So you need to pay the price for this thing. So many people are willing to change their lives, but they are not willing to change their habits. So are you willing to sleep 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours in a day? Are you willing to go some nights, sleepless nights? Are you willing to do things that average people are not willing to do? If you are willing to do such things, it means that your change is just by the corner. It means that your change is something that is just a fingertip away from you. And that kind of change that you are backing up with, that kind of discipline, paying the price, that kind of change will come. Someone came to me and was asking me that he needs to run a business, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. I asked the person, what kind of knowledge do you have for this kind of business you want to do? And the person was just talking in a way that doesn't actually sound intellectual. Because I tried to investigate if he has the right kind of knowledge he needs in order to establish this business, because every day he was talking about finance and all the rest of it. I told him that finance is not basically all you need to start a business, because with the way you are talking, if money is given to you and the mental capacity is not developed, it's not there, in less than 6 months, the money will disappear. So this kind of a business you want to do is a mirage. It's a business that you're not going to turn into reality because the mental knowledge is not there. So I tell people, financial capital without intellectual capital will lead to bankruptcy. So take it from me. This is what I say. So if you have finance or someone gives you finance, but you don't have the knowledge of what you want to do, in less than 6 months, the money will disappear. It will disappear into the thin air. So first of all, desire the kind of a change you want, desire the capacity, the knowledge that will drive you to that change, and you discover that every other thing you need in order to attain to that change will magnet towards you.